Welcome to HCEC-TV. I'm George Pennington, your occasional host. And on this version of Issues and Insights, we have Professor, is it Brian D?
Brian D. Smith.
Brian D. Smith. And Brian, if you don't mind, give a little bit about your background. And you can mention that you were a hilltopper, okay?
I am a proud hilltopper.
Yes.
There's a focal point in my office when someone first comes in. They can see Big Red and the big red towel that I have there on display. So there's no doubt where my loyalties lie.
Kind of like Jude on DRB. He wears the red.
Yes,
red,
he and I have met at some games.
Oh,
and, he's got some outlandish outfits, and I love it.
He does.
He's got this big.
He's got that big red one. I see him down there.
Yeah. But I have the privilege of we're ending my first year as Hardin County Clerk.
So you are the Hardin County Clerk.
I'm the Hardin County Clerk.
You've been there a year.
A year, and it has gone by very, very quick. And but we've got a lot accomplished. I feel like in this first year, we've expanded our services. We added more polling locations.
Okay, good.
We got great reviews from the public in November. I felt like the elections went really well.
Did it go a little smoother than the year before, just because we had more?
We had more locations, and we'll actually be adding additional locations for 2024. That's a presidential race, and so we expect a good turnout for that. So we use the phrase continual improvement when we talk about our local elections, and want to make sure that it runs smoothly for everybody.
There you go.
Other duties of the clerks, we get to issue marriage licenses.
Okay.
That's a fun and interesting part of the job. You get to meet people.
Interesting.
It's great to see, especially with Fort Knox in our backyard, we see some of these young, sharp soldiers. They and their
with physiques like ours, right?
That's what they're a little bit better shape than we are.
That's what I'm thinking, Brian.
But they look like a picture out of Life magazine, and it's great to celebrate with them. We also run your vehicle registration.
Okay.
That's everything related to everything from buying and selling a car, transferring titles, updating your tags, issuing handicap placards. But that's really what I wanted to talk about.
So when I paid my property taxes, I did the Hardin County Clerk. No, I did sheriff.
The sheriff collects the property taxes.
That's right.
You only pay to me if you're delinquent. So we encourage everybody to pay your property taxes on time, because I'd rather not collect any. I'd rather the sheriff take that responsibility.
On vehicle, I got clunkers, so you didn't get much from me for vehicles.
Vehicle's based on the assessment of value, and we don't make that assessment.
You didn't get poo from me, okay? I'm just saying.
Well, I drive a 2006 pickup truck, so I'm about right with you.
Mine's just a little 2011 old Ranger.
The value of my pickup truck isn't very high, so we're the ones that do that, and we encourage everybody to always do that on time. That's a good idea. You don't want that reminder to come from a law enforcement officer behind you. You want it to remember to renew that on time.
And don't wait till the end of the month, because it will get a little congested.
It's a little busy at the end of the month. I will tell you, the middle of the month is a good time. If you have flexibility, Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually pretty good. About 10 a.m., mid-morning is usually a good time to pop in the office if you want to just come in and do that in person.
Gotcha.
We'll take care of you anytime. We're open, most Mondays through Friday, 7:45 to 4:30, barring holidays.
Okay, gotcha. Coach Brian, as I understand, y'all have got a big upgrade project coming up. Is that right?
Yes, this is statewide. This is not the Hardin County Clerk. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is who we report to on all vehicle transactions. We follow the law that is written and their regulations, and we are basically a branch office of the Transportation Cabinet when it comes to vehicle registration.
Gotcha.
And we have been operating since 1974 on a DOS-based system called AVIS.
A DOS-based?
DOS-based system. And if viewers are younger than me, they probably don't have any idea what that is.
They don't know what that is.
Before I became clerk, the last time I saw a DOS program was in Mr. Peterson's computer math class when I was in high school. And did a little bit of programming.
Where was that?
That was at Klein Forest High School in Houston, Texas.
Okay. Good.
And I remember Mr. Peterson fondly. But I didn't think I would see that again. It is long overdue for replacement. 1974. And so this Transportation Cabinet has been building over the last number of years a new program called CAVIS. So think of that as Kentucky AVIS.
Kentucky AVIS.
We're branding it here as Kentucky, ours alone. That's how we will conduct every transaction related to your vehicle.
Okay.
And it will work a little bit like an Amazon shopping cart. Our staff has been training on this, but it's going to be Windows-based, and it is going to be faster and smoother. But our staff's been training on this. I have full faith and confidence in them. But the system has 250 million files. I'm sorry, 350 million files. So they have to transfer these files from the old system to the new one. And what are those files? That's copies of your insurance records. That's your titles. All of the documents associated with a transaction that sometimes people forget to bring into the office with them. We encourage you, please bring your registration when you come in.
So y'all don't have to try to find it.
Yes, so it has copies of past transactions. So if you come in, sometimes a record fails to get updated. You say, no, I don't own this truck anymore. I sold it 13 years ago, and we can dig through those files and we can find it. But all those have to be transferred. Well, they can't do that while it's live. So the Transportation Cabinet is shutting us down on January 1st.
All right.
Now, we're closed for business on January 1st, and we're actually going to be closed January 2nd to the public because our staff's going to be doing some training on the 2nd.
Now, what days of the week are that?
That's Monday and Tuesday, the first Monday and Tuesday of the year.
January 1st.
So folks don't come in. And the state is going to reopen us, Hardin County.
Except to bring you donuts. Okay, except
if you want to bring us donuts, you're more than welcome.
Just to leave them at the door.
Just as a morale boost for the staff, because this is going to be a stressful time for us.
Okay.
We like to handle things right when they come in. We don't like to have the public wait. We don't like to wait on things, but we're going to have to during this time period. And this is happening in all 120 counties.
Where did they do the beta testing?
So we have actually had a toe in the door with Davis. Yeah, so for about the last 2 years, all the boat transactions have been done in Cavis. Okay. So if you own a boat, you have to get a sticker on your boat every year, just like you do your car. And so our boats have been done that way. We've been doing handicap placards as well through that system. So the staff has used it. We just haven't done title transfers and those things.
Right.
Now, they've been going through some testing. There are some testing modules that the state has created.
Right.
So our staff has been using some time when the lines are a little shorter in the office. We put them on this training, and so that they'll be fresh and ready to go. But any system that's new is always going to have some challenges. There's always going to be a learning curve. The thing I ask most of the public is just be patient with us.
Okay. So you're closed the first and the second.
First and the second.
And then
we will reopen for other business. So this shutdown of vehicle will not impact. We can still issue your marriage license.
Right.
If you're a candidate filing for local office, please come on in. We want to do that. And we can do your normal real estate transactions.
Okay, you can do that.
All of that will still be operational.
Just vehicle things.
It's just
from
vehicle.
The 1st to the 9th?
First through the 9th.
You can't do it.
We will not. The 9th is our day to reintegrate with that. So people can come in the 9th.
You can come in the 9th.
I'm asking
But don't go
folks
first, okay? You might do the test first.
Yes.
You don't go first. Wait till later in the afternoon.
If your transaction's not urgent, give us a day or two.
Yeah, okay.
Because we'll be catching up. Dealers are still going to be selling cars. So
Yes.
feel free to go shop local. If you're buying a vehicle, I don't care who you buy it from, just buy it from somebody in Hardin County.
Sure,
That's my preference as a Hardin Countyan.
Absolutely.
But that will still be fine. That dealer work will still come over to our office, and as soon as we're able to on the 9th and forward, we'll work on it.
Do they submit it electronically to you
So
or by paper?
it's actually
How's that
both. We get some things electronically, but we still have runners that come with packets from the dealers. Some of them come in twice a day.
For real?
Yes.
So roughly every time there's a transaction, they try to
So
expedite it?
they'll packet it all up together for us, and so we'll get depending on the dealer size, we'll get a large, small, or medium packet.
Sure.
And our staff has actually been very, very good at being caught up on those. So I will tell you that was one of the things I really pushed on when I became clerk. But I will tell you how quickly they come in. My staff leadership came in. They said, "Hey, Brian, we were 100% caught up on dealer work." It had been years since they had zero waiting on the shelf.
Wow.
From the time I walked from my desk to the staff out there to congratulate them, 2 more folders had arrived.
Oh, Lord.
So I still give them a great kudos, pat on the back for being caught up.
How many staff? What are we talking about?
So we have 26 full-time.
26 full-time.
The most of them are in vehicle. We have our real estate and election side. I have a couple of IT experts.
Okay.
Having our own in-house.
Hopefully they're younger than me, I'm just saying.
They're pretty good. Our senior IT, his name is David Logston. If you grew up in Hardin County, you might recognize that name. because David Loxton Sr. used to be county clerk.
Yes.
And so his son David works for me, and it's exciting. David's a great guy. He has a depth of knowledge, and I haven't been able to stump him on too many computer issues that he's done for us. That saves us money in the long run.
Okay.
A lot of my counterparts have to contract out for work that they need to help with their office, and we're able to do things in-house and much more efficiently.
Yeah. Where'd he study?
You know, Dave learned most, like most shade tree mechanics.
Sure.
He learned building computers when he was a little kid.
Yeah. Okay.
So when computers first came out, he was just fascinated. His brain is just wired that way.
Yeah.
And so he's been building his own computers. He taught his children to do that. His kids can now build their own computers. And the computers we use in vehicle are provided by the state. But the other computers in our office, he actually builds from the ground up from us.
Does he?
So our computers,
and they're all window-based.
They're all they're all Windows-based, and that costs
Your Chromebook wouldn't work.
That costs us about half of what if we were buying them.
Oh, for real?
Market. Yeah, absolutely.
So he just gets the components.
He buys the pieces, put them together, and we're good
that makes
to go.
sense. Yeah. My brother-in-law has a software company in Madisonville, and I think he puts his together to save money. Sure.
It's great if you have that talent. I don't.
I don't.
But I just holler at David, and then he takes care of us.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So. Before I went off on tangents about IT, what were we talking about, Brian?
Well, talking about this transportation issue, and I know this is going to be frustrating for folks, but this needs to be done. They have been talking about CAVIS for a long time.
Since FDR, okay? Since FDR.
And in fact, that date keeps getting pushed back. When I was sworn in January, my first clerk's meeting, they said the rollout was going to be this past summer.
Okay.
So it keeps getting pushed back. It's time to pull the plug on, or time to just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do this. It's going to be painful one way or the other. If you've got an impacted tooth, it's better just get it out.
Yeah.
So we're going to get this. In fact, today in the office, we had a slowdown of that DOS-based system. Just every once in a while, that pipeline gets just crowded with data. And we had to go out and chat with the folks in line, just to let them know it's not us. Just it moves like an old turtle, and it's time for us to do this. Time for us to upgrade. So I appreciate
like buying Swifty tickets. Is that right? Yeah.
So
I understand.
I appreciate. I want to give some shout out to the Transportation Cabinet. Their staff has really been great to work with. They've been under a lot of pressure to do this. My fellow county clerks, we talk on really a day-to-day basis, either by email or by Zoom or in person. We're all working together to help each other and to be supportive of each other. And this rollout is going out 30 counties at a time.
Oh, I see.
So that's why we're not rolling all 120 out on the first day.
That makes sense.
And with any system, that
Are
makes
we
sense.
the first of the rollout?
We're on day two. You got to pick your rollout date, but that went faster than Taylor Swift tickets. I read the email, and by the time I clicked on, the first day was sold out. So I got us.
Oh, for real?
I got us the first available day. But that's actually, I think, in retrospect, a good idea.
Maybe advantageous.
We're going to let some of those other counties be day one.
Or maybe day 4. Maybe day 5. I'm just saying.
So if it runs into the ditch, we'll know. We'll communicate with the folks. I want to encourage everybody, if you're on social media, follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
That's going to be our most immediate information.
Probably, yeah.
They can, of course, always call our office, and we'll be happy to update folks.
Yeah. But y'all do get a lot of info out on Facebook, don't you?
We do. We utilize that. That's just kind of where people are.
It is.
The local radio and local newspaper have also been great help to us.
Okay, gotcha. So what are the possible growing pains? Some more of this.
We're going to kind of see how this goes. The biggest thing is getting all those transactions. The good thing about this system is it's all going to be together. And all of that information is going to be in one spot. Right now, we're kind of having to hunt. In this old system, and this sounds weird, if I look up your name, all of your vehicles are not always going to be there. So we have to sometimes hunt by VIN number. We have to hunt by license plate number and these other things. Insurance information is sometimes up to date and sometimes it's not. Always good to bring a copy of your insurance card in if you're doing a transaction with us. But this is going to put everything in one site. It's going to operate for our users on our side of the desk a little bit like an Amazon shopping cart.
Okay.
And we're going to put your transactions. So if you're going to come in, you're going to renew your tags. What else are you going to do? Oh, you're transferring a vehicle to your son. We're going to put that in the shopping cart. and we're going to total it up, and you make one payment, and you'll be on your way.
Okay, gotcha. So ultimately, it'll be more efficient.
It's going to be more efficient. Those transactions will be eventually quicker. Some of these transactions are slow because the system is slow. We have to literally tab between fields, fill them in. Now, my staff...
You have to copy and paste?
Copy and paste and all that kind of stuff.
Drives you crazy.
It is.
Drives
now,
you crazy.
My staff is a lot faster than I are, and some of them are wicked fast. I'm old and slow. I learned to type on an actual manual typewriter, so my typing is pretty good. But working through DOS, I'm not as good at. But so as our staff gains experience with this, the user experience, the average constituent comes in, they're going to be in and out a lot faster.
Okay,
that's our main goal.
And y'all are pretty efficient just because you have a lot of people there.
We have a good staff.
Yeah, you do.
I've hired a few folks. I think we have right-sized the staff. These are all folks. Everybody in my office, we work for you. So we work for the taxpayer. I want to make sure that we have the right size, not too large, so we have people sitting idle, but not too small that we're inefficient.
Right. If you're idle, can you say, okay, we're real idle? Can you work on this? How does that work?
I have a lot of sitting projects that we have for folks, and they're really, really fabulous about it. And actually, during this time where the vehicle shut down, we have some long-standing projects that we're going to get taken care of.
Okay.
One of the things, as county clerk, I'm the chief record keeper for the county.
Okay.
So there are certain records that we have to keep forever. For example, marriage licenses. We actually hold Abraham Lincoln's father and stepmother's marriage license because we keep every marriage license forever. But there are
Is it digitized?
It is digitized. Yeah. You can go onto our website and you can search. If your marriage was recorded here in Hardin County, you can look it up and you can print off a copy of your marriage certificate right at home. And you can print off anybody else's because they are a public record. And including if you go to our website and go to record search and you type in Joseph, I think what was Abraham Thomas Lincoln, it will pull up, and it's a beautiful handwritten document. It's very difficult to read because of the handwriting and whatnot, but that is preserved. There are other documents that we have a certain retention schedule. Some that have to be kept a decade, some longer. So we have some documents that are due for destruction. It's just a normal routine thing, and so we're going to be doing some of that. We're going to be doing some reorganization of those records so that when people are coming in for some of those much older records, they'll be easier to find. It will be faster for the end user. We have a lot of people come into our office who do genealogy.
Sure.
The head of our records department, Miranda, is amazing. She's a genealogy expert.
For real?
In fact, on her days off, she usually goes to another county clerk's office and works. Not for them, but she's usually doing
genealogy. Her name on Ancestry? I'm on Ancestry.
She is.
If I click help, can she help me?
She is a big fan of Ancestry.com. A lot of records have migrated there.
Yes.
There have been some other organizations that are really, really into genealogy. The Mormon Church, for one.
They're who started Ancestry.
They are.
Now, someone, I think private equity, somebody else bought it, but they started Ancestry.com.
They are probably outside of the government, probably the largest record keeper in the United States.
Perhaps in the world.
And they do really amazing work in preservation of those documents. So kudos to them for having that interest. So we'll be doing some document disposal and reorganization. We've got some other smaller projects that we're going to be doing there as well. So folks the staff's going to be, and they're also going to be doing some training on the system as well.
Now, if you come in and say you do a real estate transaction, how long does it take to get digitized so you can look it up? We're talking weeks?
No, usually a day.
A day?
Mm-hmm. In fact, a lot of the real estate transactions are filed with our office electronically.
Okay.
So if you buy a house and your mortgage documents, those are part of the recorder office. You go to your friendly neighborhood credit union or other financial institution.
I gotcha.
They usually file those electronically with us, and so when I log into my computer in the morning, I get emails from those electronic filings, and I can see those. Our staff still has to review them all.
Okay.
And the reason we have to review them, even though they're electronic, is sometimes those scans aren't clear.
Yes.
There are some law firms who need to upgrade their scanners in their office.
Yes, they are.
And so we have to make sure they're legible.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's not a recordable document.
Sure. Interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, state doesn't have. I think I gave you a heck about the website last time, off the camera. Okay, I think I gave it. Does the state have the possibility of a website so you can log in your own account and see your documents? Kind of like if you do check SSI or your health care or whatever, you can log in and see your documents. Does Kentucky have something like that?
Not statewide.
Okay.
Not statewide. Vital Statistics has a lot of documents. So if people
can you create your own account? Do you know?
I don't know how that works, but I know Vital Statistics holds some of that, but most of it you need to go to the county of record.
Okay.
And almost every county has records. It depends on the type of record. The state law on what has to be digitized and what not varies on the type of document. Hardin County, and this is credit to all of my predecessors, is way ahead of the requirements. Yes, so we exceed all of the digitized requirements. I actually have a young co-op student who's working in our office. She's fabulous. She's helping us on some of we're going back, she's taking a book and some of the documents that were recorded in paper,
right.
And she sits and she scans them. She spends hours every day doing that, and she's getting us, picking up years worth of work, and so what we're doing is moving further back in time.
I got you.
And so our goal is to eventually have all that digitized.
Well, good. Because it seems like just tons of documents. When you go on Ancestry, you're seeing, I see scanned documents of say, my parents' registry.
It's pretty amazing to see those things pop up, isn't it?
And you subscribe to a newsletter on there, a newspaper, and you can find newspaper documents from back in the day.
It's very interesting. I have an aunt on each side of my family who are basically the record keepers of the family, and they've done that genealogical research. Now it's just it's so much more accessible. They spend a lot of time doing it, and I have copies of those for our family. But
and you can find everybody's goofy yearbook pictures. They pop right up now, don't they?
Please don't look up mine.
I slow one of them. Somebody post his on Facebook. I will just say
my staff early on found it. It's not a pretty picture.
That's right. Even though you told me you got the brains and the looks in your family, we're going to go check it out. Let's get an old 7th grade, 8th grade. Do you have long hair?
Yes, shoulder. It was a mullet.
House bells, yes.
And curly, and it was not a beautiful thing. I cannot believe. But I will tell you, the gals in my class, now they had all the hairspray, big hair. Yeah,
when did you graduate high school?
1989. 89. So yes, my yearbook is full of the hairspray hair. Yes, when they used to talk about the hole in the ozone layer, it was my generation, Generation X.
Yeah, it was.
We were responsible for that.
Yeah, it was. Okay, gotcha. I'm not sure how much. We may have like 5 minutes. We can go back to the big project. You want to do the December 31?
Yeah, let's talk quickly about elections. We have a deadline coming up.
That's called New Year's Eve, I believe.
New Year's Eve.
I think
New Year's Eve, December 31st.
I follow these things pretty closely.
And it falls every year at the same day.
It's crazy how that happens.
So next year is a presidential race.
Okay.
So people will be voting hopefully in the primary and the general. We encourage that.
Only once?
Only once.
Okay.
Only once per election. One ballot per person.
Just checking.
But as you know, in Kentucky, we have what we call closed primaries. That means
Okay.
Republicans vote in the Republican primary.
Okay.
Democrats vote in the Democrat primary. Independents can vote for nonpartisan races. So
I see.
It depends on how many candidates that we have filed for. Radcliffe City Council and Vine Grove City Councils have primaries. So those
like E-Town mayor's none.
So mayoral races are nonpartisan.
They're nonpartisan.
They're nonpartisan as well. But the mayors are not up next year. Just the city councils. So December 31st is the deadline to change your party affiliation in order to vote in that party's primary in May. So it's real easy. Go to govote.ky.gov.
Govote.ky.gov.
Yes.
Okay.
You type in. You have to put in your name, your information. Your registration will pop up. It'll tell you what county you're registered in and what your party affiliation is.
Okay.
And it'll show your address. If all the information is up to date, you don't need to do a thing.
Okay.
If you want to make a change or you want to update something, you can do it right there.
You can do it right there.
You can do it on your iPhone. You can do it on your Android. If folks are a little technology shy, just come into our office before the end of the year.
Okay.
That last week of the year, we're closed the 25th and 26th for the Christmas holiday, but we'll be open Wednesday through Thursday, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Those will be the last 3 business days of the year.
27th,
Feel free
28th,
to stop by our office. The other thing is, if you have a December vehicle registration renewal, please get it done by the end of the year, because come early January, we're not going to be able to help you with it.
Yes.
So please get it done. Now, some people have come in the office, they've heard about the shutdown, and their registration is up in January.
So they're trying to do it now?
They're trying to do it early, and unfortunately, we can't do that.
Oh, you can't?
We can't, because January is when all the new assessments on the vehicles come out. That's done by the Department of Revenue.
Oh, so you can't.
We can't
do anything about that?
We can't do it. There's nothing we can do about that. We appreciate folks who always like to get their homework done early.
Yes.
This is one particular time we can't do it.
I got you. Well. We may have 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. Coach Ron, I got 2.
We got 2 minutes.
So what else is going on the horizon?
Well, we're looking ahead to the presidential race. We know that there's always a lot of interest in that, whomever the nominees finally end up being. So we're going to be adding polling locations. We have fiscal court approved an additional equipment purchase that is set to be delivered here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll be mapping out. Those decisions are made by the local county board of elections.
Okay.
So I serve on that as chair by virtue of being county clerk.
All right.
John Ward, our sheriff, serves on
He's on
virtue
there.
of being sheriff. And then there is a Republican and a Democrat member.
Okay.
They are nominated by their local party and approved by the state board of elections. And the 2 that sit on that, Mike Phillips is our Republican and Winnie Townsend is our Democrat. They have a lot of experience with elections. So we'll be looking at parts of our county where we need to add polling locations, and we're going to add additional sites. We want it to be easy for all parts of Hardin County to vote.
Is equipment pretty standard? If I go to this precinct and that precinct,
So
is it fairly standard?
within Hardin County, it's going to be an identical experience wherever you
is?
go.
Good.
And that's true if you vote early, too, on the 3 days of early voting. Not all counties use the same vendor. There are, I believe, 3 approved vendors in Kentucky.
Okay.
But we use probably the most common equipment.
Okay.
The nice thing about that is if we have issues, we can not only talk to our vendor, but our counterparts in the surrounding counties can sometimes be of help to us. We've had to loan equipment out to other counties as well.
Professor, I think we got less than 30 seconds, so go ahead and give your any websites or
yes, just people can go to
or go fund me Brian V or whatever you need to talk about.
No. If you're in the charitable mood, support local charities here in Hardin County. Always give to your local church if that's a thing that you do. But HCEC-TV.org or just Google Hardin County Clerk's Office and visit us on Facebook.
Okay, for issues and insights. Coach Brian and Coach George here. All right, we're signing out.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, later.